Hello, and welcome back to Factorio base exploration. Didn't get it by the train. Last time I unlocked and made base elevator, except the biggest challenge is getting all the cables needed, which is remarkable. There's a lot of stuff that there's a lot of basic stuff that I need to improve. Oh, I can productivity this. I didn't expect that. There's a lot of stuff to work on to make this stuff usable. Activities can help a lot. I need better coal, and I need to sort of oh, okay, that's why it broke. That's supposed to be 360, not 3,600. That's why my holmium is so bad. That explains a lot. Instead of 6 minutes, it was an hour per trip. I can see exactly why that caused problems. Okay, that should solve the holmium issue, I think. For now. Some more coal. So, this belt is full, and that's coming off here. My coal is mined somewhere. Coal. Okay, it's mined there. I might benefit from having another setup. Okay, this is not needed anymore. But I could get coal in many places. This is a good one. That's pretty good. Well, that's actually, yeah, very easy. But let me get this going quickly. Which is mostly an issue of the holmium. Instead of the holmium being delivered properly, it should be fine. Currently I have enough coal. Yeah, that lasted for a while, but didn't have enough intake. That's all fine still. This... actually, I didn't address that. Okay. That's what I'll do next. It will also help... okay, that's not good. It'll help if I have anything more that I need to do. That is doable. I have to run the train around here, but that's probably the best source of uranium I can get. Okay, that does clear this. I can clear this little peninsula. And then once this is cleared, there's no chance for any danger from this zone. Not that these are likely to be an issue, it's just if I have bots that end up flying through here, it'll die for nothing. good space opened up. There's a bunch of copper that I could mine. I was gonna make a copper planet, and I still should. But there is copper here that I can get to if I need it. Oh, I actually finished that research completely. Anything from tier 2 or below. This is progress, but not super pressing. The accumulators are useful for spaceships. Ooh, this is a capacity bonus for normal inserters. That is valuable. Weapon delivery cannons could be good. Iridium pile driver probably can do a lot. Artillery can gain. Shooting speed's not super important. The range increase is pretty helpful. There's a lot of kind of research that exists. Ooh, Mark II batteries are kind of nice. I do need to do more of those eventually, but that would I need to improve my science if I can do any of that efficiently. Straight away. Where do I have to go? So I want to, yeah, do a 3-way intersection here. Actually, a 4-way intersection is the correct choice. And that will get it across. It'll be slightly closer than I would like. Copper will get wasted because I won't mine it. So that's kind of something I should... I guess I can undo it to the intersection and then just go one further. Decisions. Very basic decisions, but somewhat annoying nonetheless. And I'm gonna go... That will cause issues. Then I build a station somewhere in here. I'm just gonna force that to work. It doesn't need to be good, so I want the entrance to be there. It's interesting to think about how the... That doesn't make sense to me. How this space elevator will come into play. Because until I actually have it built, it's kind of impossible for me to know exactly how it works without doing a bunch of stuff that would in turn influence how I use it, which is not what I want. That'll build slowly. Putting some superchargers along here would help. But I will connect there, that's fine. This will feed down. I will need 2 stations because I need to provide sulfuric acid. Oh, hello. How'd that build without complaining? Weird. Oh. Could rip that up. Did you make some sort of mistake? But either way, I hope you've been doing well. Today, I'm here to rip up this, and I'm distracted by that. Ah, yeah, I don't think I was able to find the setting. Ooh. Very unfortunate, no idea what the cause it is. Maybe if I go here, it's saying nothing yet, so I don't know on which end it is. It's causing buffering. Oh, has my thing been crafted yet? No, because I didn't grab the components. Spaceship landed. Welcome. Again. Preventing all this, which is good. Ah. Was the laptop somehow causing an issue? Oh, that could be something that I might need to address on my end, volume-wise. I don't think it's something I can do right now. Okay. Let's say no. It's a while ago I moved stuff around, and so stuff is a little further away. The microphone's further from my face. Ooh. But like, normal rain, right? Not an incredible amount of freezing rain. I mean, it's been kind of... It was weirdly snowy today. And there was freezing rain in the area a few days ago. Oh yeah. It's like... A few days ago there was a lot of... Like, it was... freezing rain to the level that people were like canceling appointments, planning to not go and drive anywhere because it's just can be dangerous. But today I think there was just some snow. Which it's weird for there to be snow, kind of, but yeah. I mean, okay, this whole design is silly. Like, temperature-wise, I like the cold, but yeah, it really shouldn't be very cold at this point in time. Like, I mean, it is only middle of March, so being cold is not crazy, but it is a little abnormal. Okay, so I want to go into space for a moment. I would rather travel via that, but that won't work, so up I go. yeah. Like, there's a definite influence of climate change on this, like, on the weird weather that's been happening. It's kind of unsurprising. Oops. Nope. Misclick. I'm here to grab something important. I'm also gonna steal some of these. I just need to figure out what I'm here to grab. Oh, I'm here to grab material catalog. Which is stuck on the cold. Boom. Stolen material catalog. I can craft my item. Yeah, I mean, I do always prefer... Like, I would almost always rather it be unreasonably cold than unreasonably hot, but it's still not what it should be. What would they... How could Sonic be remodeled? Unless it's like, oh, they've been using the same exact model in all of their games for the past 20 years or something. Which is, I'm assuming, not what that means. Dump some beacons in here, not in there. Oh well. Dump them in here. Like, remodel, presumably not just, oh, the model's old and bad. Okay, this is one to equip. Put the thruster suit there. Upgrade thruster suit. Excellent. I could fit. That's a cheap research. Let's do that first, just to get that out of the way. I don't know what that is. Ah. I mean... It's probably difficult to change Sonic's general design without... That is way too many portable fission reactors. It's probably difficult to change anything about Sonic's design without it being like a broader like aesthetic change. Like Sonic Generations? One of them had like 3 versions of Sonic where each of them looks different because of style. It's still fundamentally the same look, I think. Yeah. I can't imagine there's much of a... I'm not into Sonic as a series, really, but I'm gonna up that. I don't know why they would want to redesign it, unless there's some sort of, like, intellectual property law that exists, like, oh, if the character's design doesn't change for 50 years, then something weird, which I don't think is the case. No, it's probably just Generations. Generations had the classic and the newer one. It did have classic 2D, newer 2D, and newer 3D? I haven't played a Sonic game other than like the Mario and Sonic game at the Olympics from 2010 or something. I haven't played a Sonic game since like a Game Boy Advanced playable version, so I've just seen stuff, so I might have incorrect impressions. Get rid of that. I don't really need those. Okay. Those are crafting. This is going better because the Holmium is actually here because my delivery is working as intended. It should be en route one way or the other. So that's fine. I need to get the batteries crafting because I want to improve my batteries in my thruster suit. So I have 2 megawatts of power, which is half the need of the... Oh yeah. Like, I think Sonic has... My impression from the outside is Sonic has gotten... Sonic is less of a bad joke for the last 5 to, like, between 5 and 10 years. It's become less of like a punchline. Where before that it was like, oh, every Sonic game in the last decade has been terrible, sort of vibe to it. Where with Generations, not Forces, I mean Mania, Sonic Mania, with a bunch of actually good games, it's definitely in a better spot than it was before. And the movies probably help it as well, where I think generally they're like competent movies at the worst. Is this... Okay, the coal is being supplied recently. Yeah, 64 minutes too slow. Long term it will be fine. But I'd rather have more than that. We stack to 20. 2, 4, 6, 880 is the max. Okay. Yeah. Like, I think there have been a few... My impression is there's been a few whiffs since Sonic Mania, but it's generally been a positive. Like, even the weird Sonic Frontiers, I believe was at least not terrible. I think this was for my copper planet? Yes, it was. Okay. Could start that collecting again. Short on big electrics, which that's what I should do. I should get to work on setting up more train stations for these other necessary components. None of this is being built. Why is this not being built? Just because the bots are really slow and it is being built? Okay, it's just the bots are incredibly slow. Oh, because I don't have... My construction bot thing here isn't working? Okay, this needs to be improved. My crafting is bad. I wasn't paying attention, but yeah, it's good that your Kerbal Space Program stuff is... You're able to make it work for you at last. Okay, this is gonna overlap with some beacons. be an overall improvement. This is low. I probably just need to make a better crafter for that. I already have this. This is already better. I didn't realize this has been stuck and I was down to 50 construction bots. That's terrible. I should replace this, make a new one. It's not super limited. This is bad because of steel. Steel is bad. Steel's not flowing from here. Did something break here? Nope, it's just too slow. I can go beacon that. Oh. Hello. Hope you've been doing well. How is this? Pyroflux is good. I do want to scale up core mining. That would be nice, but if I beacon this, I can get a lot of... I can make easy improvements. That's currently hitting... flip it, and there. It should boost my productivity of steel. It might break any semblance of balance that might have existed in the past, and I can't get these because of bad planning. These might not fill their roles. I need to do a map. Use factory planner to replan the steel production. So far it looks like it is just a strict improvement. Which is great. If I can get steel to not be a problem, that will help a lot. They shouldn't be less efficient, it should just be faster. I could scale... I could improve this by just putting down a couple beacons. Oh wow, that could be... Oh, it's remarkably close to being good, but it would mess with the design too much. That in craft range is... So these will process faster, which means that I can... Actually, these processing faster is useless, because it is limited by belt speed. So this is pointless. If I want to scale this up, I kind of just need more belt. Which means that I can improve core mining by doing some work here. Or, actually, can I could productivity these and speed module and maybe get more out of them that way. My current steel ingots are going to be super beaconed. This is no longer accurate. My steel is currently at 350 per minute, which is pretty good. It's not at all what's being worked with here, but say I aim for 500. I would need 189 of those, or 174. Which, based on that, I am currently 136, some 40 casting machines away from that. I will need more of the speed modules, more of the furnaces. 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 16. I have 16. I'm actually pretty close to the correct ratio, which is great. But for fragment, I can't do that. If I want to do pyroflux, and I want 2,000 per minute via basic core fragments. 20 pulverizers is enough, with an input of 3 belts of fragments. Seems worth it. You have a very solid system, which I would want 20 divided by 3 is an awful number. If I do 8 divided by 3, that's better, so 4 on each side of a belt. Basically just I probably just should start from fresh. Following the basic premise. These will use a different module type. Then I can copy carefully each block, much easier to deal with. There, out there. Boom. Okay, this goofy system is enjoyable. Those are all the liquids that are outputting. They can feed in over here without problem. Batteries are flatlined because I don't have material 2. Yes. A lot of issues that I'm running into with this setup. Oh, what's this at? Space elevator's done. No more killing time. Now I can figure out how this works. Which will need me to make some space rails, but... Consumes cables per minute. Maintenance paused. Wonder what that means. If I ride this, I presumably just... Yeah, I just move to the top. Ah. But I have to be careful about how I do that. That's nice. I can travel more quickly up and down, even if that's the only use case currently. This is not a good place for a train to enter and exit, but having a convenient location for one is fine. That is out. That is in. Can I rotate this? No. Can I rotate it when I place it down? It'd be weird if I couldn't. You can only flip it. Seems like there's only two options, either left or right. I will need to make space rails, which space rails, holmium cables, rails, steel plates, energy catalogs. If I pick up some of all of that, I can make this work. So let's start with the fact that I have no holmium cables. 1,000 of these, 1,000 steel, which is in a chest somewhere. Yeah, hello. It's been a little bit. I got the an elevator built. This one's not actually usable for trains, but well, maybe it is. I can maybe force it to be usable. I hope you're doing well. That's fine. This is a bad spot for that to be. Yeah. I mean, I've also... It's so nice to be able to just sort of be in space without having to worry about refueling your spaceship to hop up. Like, it makes it a lot easier to craft things that need like one thing in space. The energy's useful. There's a lot of stuff. It's... You do mention energy. I really should. Oh, that was connected. Okay. I really should connect this. Which it already is. It is connected already. Cool. I didn't notice that. Yeah. I'm thinking I probably won't rebuild everything, but the space science will adjust. But the Nova space will probably not change. These particle accelerators are crazy. 10 gigawatts between the surfaces is kind of nice. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by and saying hello. Hope you have a good night. I need to find what I was looking for. I don't know why I have an artillery shell. I am looking for holmium cables. I'm suffering from holmium because I messed up my spaceship. It was going back every hour instead of every 10 minutes. Very troubling. What's the best fix for that? The best fix is I could start working on positioning. I need to figure out where I want to do space elevators. I could do them down here, maybe. No, I should do down here. This is a perfect empty space. Nothing down here. I should start clearing that area. To figure out what I can work with. Oop, don't clear that. Clear to here. Okay, once I hit the rails, I've gone too far. Boom. Oh yeah. That's much more important to hang out with family, I think. I hope that they're doing well. Like, I'm assuming they're probably fine if they were at the hospital for a few days and they're back now. I'm also assuming it's not a case of like, oh, he was at the hospital for a few days working or something. not doing great. Yeah, spending time. Even if he's gonna be fine, it's probably best to spend time with them. Yeah, well, if they're doing okay now, or even if they aren't, it's probably best to. It's much more important to spend time with them. Hopefully they're gonna do okay. I don't know. I do not know what is best to say. Never been in hospital for an extended. I've been in hospital for like a broken leg and stuff, but never for an extended stay. So I can't imagine what that is like. I've had more distant family who've had to spend lots of time in hospital, and my mother's family, and it clearly isn't nice when someone you care about is kind of stuck in hospital. Though, I guess currently they're not stuck in hospital, but okay, clearing all this. Good. It does need better battery charge. Take a bunch of holmium up to space manually, that would be good. Just I need to plan for these trains. Wait, here goes I can take the space elevator. Boop. Dump all this into here, wherever it is. None of this is in an organized. No, this is full. I thought the holmium was the current issue. Rod materials are not crafting for enough corrosion. Corrosion's not crafting for enough glass. Not what I expected. Density of these ingots kind of counts for a lot. In terms of space elevator cables, I can start picking up explosives. I got distracted with my holmium cables that I needed. cables are crafting in bulk over here, but those are getting used up very quickly. Crossing yesterday. Okay, that is enough. There's too much stuff that I'm trying to juggle. It's just... Oh, I can't even do that here. Okay. I need to pick something and focus on it for just a minute. Simplest thing would be collect with explosives and continue exploding down here. Then figure out how this coincides to space. So that is here. How far up is this? I could go further up. And just decide how far up I'm willing to go and which way I want these to face. I think that's fine. One in this elevation. So, this is input. This goes this way, this goes that way. Either one could go into these. How am I going to do this? I think I can just design this as a single track. And have these oh, that's the other direction. Can't rotate it once it's here, so that's gonna be the opposite of what I meant for that to be. The input, which will come from here somehow. This will not work. Yes, that will not work. These want to move down one. There's the entrance. This one to be changed. Ah, yeah. I think it almost always takes a long load time with stable FPS over a short load time with terrible FPS. Like airships that would fly within the atmosphere? Or within an atmosphere? Seems potentially funny. Since it's here, then I go use the opposite end. They're both there. those don't line up because I misplaced this one. Signals. A blimp seems... What would be the use case of a blimp in Purple Space Program? I don't know much about goals in that game other than trying to, like, orbit and fly to a moon and then get back and stuff. I'm looking for something. Rail signals, those are further up. Okay. Here's where the trains will be. Input. Output. It's like... if you can fly to your destination planet, and then if you want to look around you can do that. I guess that would make sense. This might have a problem being placed where I have placed it. Why would this need... oh, because it's not shifted down. Okay, now I have to deal with that. I think that should be fine. There will be issues with this design. In and out. Yes, it's gonna be weird. I probably should make a blueprint to work with this, but I think it's functional for now. Intersection, that's not an intersection. This stuff does need to be split up more. It'll be interesting to see how this works. Ah. Is it something that would be difficult to, I don't know, build or whatever in game? Because it's sort of, to me, I feel like those sorts of things that are sort of different from the usual system often result in either being super expensive or super cheap. It's 10 megawatts. That is not a lot. Okay. Wait, is my primary power? Yeah, all my power's coming from the solar right now. That's pretty funny. Okay, so these will be routes up. I then need space rails in space to do anything with them. I'm gonna copy this. Which long term gets shifted into a smaller one because I don't need that much once it's built. Cable 60. 60 base cables, which will keep that safe. I mean, like getting a blimp to space would be difficult, but like I think you could get like an uninflated blimp into the area if you're very careful not to like break anything. Like you could assemble it at the end, on the other end of a space trip. Oh, there's something weird. Yeah, it's not weird. I'm just confused. This is filling up gradually. That one will... It'll be there. My space stuff will change now. I hate that those don't line up. That's weird. They should be at the same line, but zoomed out, the dots aren't in the same space. Very odd. Okay, there's power. Oh yeah, I don't know how Kerbal Space Program handles stuff. Like, if you can't ship the parts in some way, then you probably can't. But like, if you could, you make the parts. I don't know how it works. You make the parts before the trip, then you, if you can cheat, delete the parts and then create the blimp there. Is the same as like, ooh, packing it into the rocket to ship it there. This is going more smoothly than I expected. But I need space rails still. I do not have chromium cables to make space rails yet. I am probably crafting too many pylons. Which means that I don't have any sort of... I don't have enough of a buffer of these, but I can craft them in space. Space rail costs energy catalogs. Energy catalogs should be here. Lot energy, normal energy. Give me my space rails. I can't craft them by hand. Space rails. I will have many space rails. Wonderful. I've crafted all that I can craft. I'll leave that there because no reason not to. And then I can start figuring out how I want to deal with these space rails. So, both of these merge there, and then I can deal with it somehow. That can be copied both sides. I just need to decide on the highest priority and what I want to move via these rails first, and how I want to deal with them. I can't walk on space rails, that's kind of funny. The simplest approach is just to store them all in chests. Bring it up with a train, drop it into chests, and then just forget about it. That's probably not ideal. Yeah. Well. In the context of Kerbal Space Program, is the only real difference between a normal, like, spaceship and an interstellar ship just that it is faster? Or do you actually have to consider stuff like maintaining oxygen and food and whatnot? Okay. One of the things that would be very valuable to ship would be... Iridium's not high priority. It would be good to ship material testing packs, because those can be made more effectively. Yeah. This is basically just a... Making an interstellar ship is just sort of making a better ship. Oh, it's not finished. Okay. Up here. Right. So, how does this work? If I want to ship via this left one, I would rename it to... Temporarily, it will be called Material Testing Pack Icon Drop Off. Can I signal control or circuit control space elevators? Turn them on and off from the other side. The necessary material. Okay, nothing is moving in space. That's not good. This is limited by this, which is limited by corrosion. Corrosion is limited by glass. Glass is limited by the fact that this is not ready to launch, because I probably still don't have enough rocket control units, and it all falls apart. But think of all that. This is in range, isn't it? Why is that not... Oh, did all my bots die? No, I have plenty. I do not understand why this was so complaining. I do have the objects. Weird. I'm just gonna let this do this for now. Did I not connect here to here? No, that connects to here. Did I actually place this too far away? It did. This will solve my problem temporarily. Okay, recharge robot. Okay, now that will deal with itself for a bit more. I have enough of these for what I was testing. So, can I control these in any way with circuits? No. That makes that simple. What do I want to do? What would make sense to me? It doesn't read the rail signals up here. They're separate locations. Bugs me. It doesn't read the rail signals, and just have it go there as necessary. The easiest way would be to have dedicated trains for every material potentially. Or simplest, not easiest. Then if I only have one train going up and down for each material, then it's easy. If it's up here and it's unloading, then it's not wasting time. Can trains read the existence of other trains? I've still never actually used this train. Test. Interrupt can be specific station, circuit condition. Oh, I could do circuits. I could do I could do a circuit shared between orbit and the planet. Can I pass? I think I can pass circuits through. No, I can't pass circuits through because I can't connect circuits, unless it was because it wasn't built. Yeah, no, I can't. I can connect wires, but it just was making the complaining noise for some reason. Yeah. Okay, so I can pass circuit power. I could feed the circuit into a station? A train stop here. Okay, I don't know why that doesn't reach. Okay, disconnect that, disconnect that. Connect that and see how this behaves. That's there, this is here. Don't need the power. So, send to train. Sends the contents of the circuit network to the train. Presumably the train that's sitting there. So, it can't communicate with other things. I could have... If I have more space than I'm currently leaving myself, I could have the train wait based on a circuit condition drawn from space, and then I'll have a queued train here, potentially at all times, that only goes up when it's needed. I hate that I can't just do a direct cable from here to here, though. That's super unfortunate. Also, this is the output. The train control would have to be on this side, and that would then mean I'd have to break these and waste all that. But I could control it that way, with the other end of the system being fed information from wherever I choose to unload. The question is how I want to unload stuff. Currently I'm operating with bots, and if I stick with bots, then the answer is very easy. I just unload all the trains into big chests. Each train exits, goes up a bit, enters a big array of chests. That should be kind of central. Which might mean I want to move this further down, but it could also go further to one side, but there's issues with that. This will extend a bit more in each direction. There's the other option of dumping everything into active providers and just having the active providers sort it with bots, but that's a bit questionable. I'll still need an elevator for every material if I do it that way. But if I do it that way, I could have... No, I don't want to disperse chests. That'd be a bad idea. Sharing multiple loads on one train will have so many problems that will be introduced by that. I still steal some glass and carry it up into space. That will help. Actually, everything else. Oh. Oh. Hopefully it wasn't anything too annoying, difficult. This is crafting, this will get me my research for the batteries. Yes, I need to get a sense of scale. These are here, they can pull up, and I could start... I could just make a huge array of chests right here, and that would not be that bad. I have to design a station that I can use in space. So, storage chests, or stored warehouses, there. Space rails will be needed. Train stop. Blueprints. Such an issue in space. These batteries carry 5 times as much. Excellent. No, rail ghosts are just difficult to work with. I guess space rails are just kind of not viewed as rails or something. Weird. Probably just difficulties of modding, but... Now do they count as rails? They do. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. That's how long it needs to be. That is the straightaway that's necessary. This, I could do 1 chest for each thing, but that would be incredibly overkill. My best to align it here. Then I can don't know which side it needs to be on. That might be the wrong side and I can fix it. These can all... 1, 2, 3. That's too close then. Made a mistake. Should be a functional input. Don't really need to be in space to do this. This should provide a reasonable footprint to work with. Space storage Mark 1. It should be doable. Probably inefficient space-wise. If I use that, these will go up. They'll have to split off. Well, I could do these this way. That's not too bad. They go back down. No, they go back down here, which means I could put a bunch of these. Like this for each row. This might not... Oh, wait, no, this needs to go the other way. If I do that, I can get those stored, but these are too close together. This will not be able to turn properly. Which means these need to shift to line up there. Which in turn means that this won't work because it won't be able to turn. This is the output. If I leave this close and just make the change that should be fine. So this needs to go. I have to decide if this is what I want to do, or if I can think of a better way to handle this shipping component. Maybe too close, let's leave it there. If we have to change, then this can all connect just fine to here. Which will need to be signaled, but yes, you can't flip bus stations. Train stations, not bus stations. Which means I would need to do it this way. I guess it's re-blueprint. Should lined up. Re-blueprint that. Copy as far as I can. And plan for this design to be made into a blueprint once the whole thing is ready. Gonna be the space tree. That would provide 14 items in a large storage. Which would then mean extending this by 6 more spaces down. I think it would be a good start to make this. I could get the 14 highest priority items and then just adjust as needed. In total, though, I need... So currently I'm shipping 4 research, some of which are missing. 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, which that, I'm not gonna count that, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. 27 items for science, not including the science capsules that are pre-crafted. This gets most of those items. But then I have more science to do, which will expand. So 2 of these could be enough for a while. Turn off the robot. Put them back on down here to fix this. I think the idea is sound up until the question of how am I going to deal with actually getting the trains up here. That is currently a little uncertain. I could put transmitters on these as an option. Each of these could have a transmitter beside it. All set to, like, I know, one transmitter, then connect them. Oh. Are the airships super modular, or are they sort of a one design covers everything sort of scenario? I'm looking for chromium cables. Can I steal them from here? Ah, yeah. So 4 more of these, so I have more to steal. I think for Novus to orbit, this will work enough. I can signal control, passing signals, reading each of their contents. I can then feed into Novus information from transmitters. Ooh, these can be swapped to the smaller chests. Keep expanding. These are still a little limited, but this is the input side. I need to adjust the output sides. Oh, do I need to adjust the output on this side? No. Because these outputs are simply empty trains. So they just need to get back onto the track. They don't need to follow a special system here, except that this is going to be made wider, which is in turn going to mean that the stuff is going to look weird if I don't make it match. I should update it. Okay. There, flip it. there. Close enough. And this needs to be an output. You the other end. That'll have to adjust a bit. I want it to look nice. Ooh. That's kind of interesting. These don't quite reach. Like, something about how the airships in the Kerbal Space Program mod is confusing. Is that anything to do with like buoyancy or something? Okay, I am in the correct spot. Though there might be issues already. That's not gonna line up properly. Why is that not gonna line up? No reason this shouldn't be fine. I guess it is, okay. Ah. So yeah, it's difficult in the doing it well as opposed to just doing anything at all sort of sense, right? Okay, if it's functional. I'll have to adjust this rail, which will actually be better now. This rail intersection is made pretty messy with that addition. I think I want to leave that. Copy that, undo that. Oof. A bit a troubling lineup. This is gonna mess with this so much. Another chain signal there? No. No. Yeah, I made this into a mess. Really made a mess of this. Yeah, chain signals don't help there. This isn't splitting. That's not what I need. This is a bad plan. If I just stuck with reasonable design principles, it would have been much better. Never mind, that was totally fine, it just didn't place properly. Not this one. Okay, everything was fine. It just looked like it was on the rail, but it wasn't. Always weird. I think that's fine. That gets through to here. Well, if something breaks, I'll fix it. Whatever, if something breaks, I'll fix it. It's not gonna break yet, so I won't be able to judge it anytime soon. This is all set up. That will probably be improvable. But this will iterate one. Yeah, that'll be able to fit for sure. Just decide what needs to be stored where, which is its own issue. But I can start simply with material testing kits and contents. If I pick up some transmitters, signal transmitter, signal receiver, I can put transmitters at the bottom of each stack. At the top doesn't really matter. I think having one each will look better. Have those. It'll all feed into the same thing, but it will look nicer to have more transmitters like that. Yeah, I didn't set that up properly. This is empty because I don't have enough scaffold materials. Scaffold materials would also be really good to ship up consistently. So they will go onto the list on the right side. Low density. Steel, not that. Steel, which I should be moving to shipping steel ingots up to space instead of steel, but for now I'm gonna leave it this way. Heat, shielding. I mean, I might as well add copper, which again should be plates, or should be ingots, but that's gonna be delayed because copper and iron are gonna be dealt with via. They might get dealt with via other planets shipping in eventually. Landing pad. Ooh, I could almost put a landing pad in here. If I placed stuff a little further to the right, which I won't change now because I've already positioned it, but if it all went just a little to the right, it would be kind of perfect. Okay, I didn't update that side. And for how to do power, which will just look bad. Build this if you want robots. I don't know why it's trying to build. This gets ripped out. That's not lined up properly. Why is that not lined up properly? Oh, okay, I get it. I know why that didn't line up properly. Because the bit that I copied was overlapping that, and then I placed it without it overlapping properly. It'd be better to just copy that, flip it, and place it. That should be the correct lineup now. Or if I... that... It's questionable. Ah, I just didn't copy the last bit. Okay. That is that tree. I need to actually leave these unset so that I can make a blueprint. The blueprint should be designed with power poles in place. Otherwise I'll have to place them all later. And that would be a real pain. That lines up here. And that wasn't straight. Or it was? Didn't look like it was. It was. Okay. There's that. I can get rid of these. I can adjust where these are placed. And that will work just fine. That one doesn't look right, but this goes to the right side of the rail. This goes... I guess I should put it there. If I want it to be the equivalent. Really hard to tell if this is a straight line. Okay, if I want it to be a straight line, it does need to go there. Why is this different than I'm thinking it should be? Whatever, I'll just do this. This is the space tree. It's not much of a tree anymore, but it exists. I'll need to get better infrastructure, but I'll need to make every stop into a weird name. Kind of, yeah, that drop off down. I need to figure out how I want to label stuff. This will be the drop off for material testing packs. Just material testing pack drop off. Train limit of 1, already 50. It is what it is. This will be material testing packs. Can I turn this into a parameter? No. Not in a way that I think matters. Okay. So these will connect down to there. This will be a specific generic group that will send for each of these. Don't like that that's not symmetrical because these don't actually rotate. Kind of annoying. But that can send a signal that could then be sent somewhere. I'm to learn about signals, how they interact with trains. If I say this equals 0, output that 1. That should be outputting a signal, but it isn't. Conditions, that equals 0, that output 1. I am doing something wrong, or I'm misunderstanding something very simple. Power. So, send to train, sends it to the presumably the train that is at that station. This is stop station. This says send the contents of the circuit network to the train so that they can be used for weight. Yeah, it says weight conditions, which means it has to be at that station. There's no circuit value here. List destination alphabetically. I can make a dedicated... use my existing pickup drop-off system. I create a pickup. I might have to change the inputs, and that would then mean picking up these and changing even more. If I... Is there any way I can set a request to go to here? I could make... Instead of having it line up here, I could make a bunch of basically depots that are the equivalent drop-off for here. They pull in, they sit there, and then they come down here to deliver based on if they have received the correct signal. I need locomotives to test this. I craft locomotives way in the north. Way, way far away. A bunch of those, doesn't matter. Then I can set... I don't know if I can set an interrupt or not. Or if uninterrupt is even the correct way. So this... oh, I guess if I'm reading based off of a signal, I would need an interrupt. This is space. I kind of want an icon on that. If I type the word space, what does it give me? Nothing particularly interesting. I guess I can use a space elevator cable. Space elevator. I could signal based on circuit condition where I'm reading... Okay. Back. Save that temporarily. Pick up the drop-off interrupt. Yeah. Item parameter, fluid parameters, what will need to be changed. Parameter, but I only have signal parameter. Match the first signal that passes all weight conditions and replace the signal with that signal. So that's not what I want. Circuit condition, destination, empty cargo. And that's cargo, item count. Leave that there. Keep going back and checking. I'm looking for drop off. Yeah, cargo greater than 0, drop off, empty cargo. But I can't do that. Did you give up on the airship by changing something? Big planes can be fun too. If you're gonna do a big plane, are you gonna... Yeah, or actually, is the airship mod its own thing? And if so, would you remove the mod to improve the load if that's all it did? Remote view. Interesting. Your signal parameter equal to 1. And go to... Go to this specific drop-off. But I can't go to signal parameter drop-off. Can I? I can. Item parameter. I'd have to figure out how I want this to go, but this might work. So I name this station after a specific area. Then I have wherever that's done, which would be below, above, somewhere nearby. It's gonna receive the signal here. And then each station will have its own controlled output. Okay, this might work. I think this could work. I'm surprised that it might be easier to make a... plane than to make a blimp. Admittedly, I probably shouldn't be surprised, given that people use planes now and not blimps, so there's reasons for stuff like that, which is safety and hydrogen, helium, all that stuff. I think this is looking okay. I'm close to being able to get this to a functional level, I think. Some chests. I need more than that. I'm gonna want... Actually, I'm not gonna need more than that. I'm overestimating stuff. So I need more space platforms, which are limited by the fact that I don't have the low densities. Do I have space platforms down here? I do. Probably not enough, but... Oh, personal battery crafting, okay. Personal battery tier 1. Give me 10 of them. Oh yeah. I would have always assumed that making something float with a gas would always be simpler than making something fly with a plane, or in the manner the plane flies. But if it isn't, then it isn't. Building orders. Wild. The easiest thing I can do is steal some low-density structures and carry them up manually. Get a bunch of those. If that will build, it will be great. Okay, turn this off before I go up. Oh, like, so more than just making it work, it's optimizing an airship is harder than, like, trying to optimize a plane. I guess a plane you just sort of wings and body, and that mostly covers it. Really surprised. 1947 times 800. I guess it's a super boosted efficiency. Each of these are 7.5 potential megawatts. I'm losing half of this power to power 2 surfaces right now. That's gonna save me a lot of uranium, huh? Yes. My fuel cell... Oh no, my fuel cell consumption hasn't decreased at all. That seems surprising. The uranium ore processing has decreased. My ore has decreased, but the... Or is it the... Yeah, that hasn't dropped. Why? It'd be because I'm shipping it all to space, that might be why. This is fine, that's dropped off. I need to pick up my stuff to build my stuff. That looks awful. This should not be connected here. Neither should that. Nope, that wasn't even connected. That's connected here? That's fine. I don't know if that's fine. A very important aircraft carrier with a different feel. I need to picture an elevator on a plane. Just because it would be a lot. It would help accessibility in some contexts, but this is gonna be obnoxious. Yeah, I knew this would be annoying. So that extends to there, which I can go as far as about there, but that doesn't line up well. So that can't be where I build that. Or it will cause me more issues than it would help with. could probably get away with putting the supercharger to connect it all. There gets me the second. I have to put it there, and that should need one more step. Which we'll have to wait, but that should supply this. Then I can obtain how these get used. What is the most important thing to filter out that I want to craft on land? Solenoids might be good to craft on land, as would girders and bearings, the various aeroframe pieces. This will be the basic metals. Iron. I need to get these filled before they get replaced. Iron, copper, steel. Heat. Low density. Plastic, one more item, and then that will be one set of 14 things to ship to space. These will be in a different area. And some of this stuff won't be shipped in this way long term. Sulfur, sure. That will work. Oh yeah, because if I place this here, it doesn't work because the crafting space, the logistics space is the same as the construction space, which means that it doesn't actually reach if all I'm doing is connecting the logistics to one another. It kind of makes these... I mean, this is not what these are meant for. These are meant for charging. Use other stuff for construction as necessary. Forgot that I reduced the size of that today. Alt. Why? Okay. So now everything well, not everything should look good. Not enough crafting space. Or construction space, not crafting. Robo port. If I put one at the opposite side, that won't cover the construction, but it will get the left side at least. And I could add an additional one on either end, which will have a bit too much coverage probably, but it will at least look okay. Let's redo that every time because I'm not going to update my blueprint for that from this current system. But I goofed. It should still work, but I didn't actually leave the necessary space for inserters, so my blueprint is very bad now. I need a lot of work to make it work. I should update it on this one because this is one that's close to being built. Do still need those. 1, 2, 3, 4, How do these actually work? I never remember. I don't know where I have an example to work with. There. Okay, so they place on the right side, which means this is the correct way. Good. Here's where I need to adjust. This could do that, and this could go underground. It looks horrible. But it should be fine. Probably missed something and there'll be an issue with this that I'm gonna have to fix eventually. To update my blueprint. That can wait. I should name it to say fix it. Fix needed. So, another good thing to think about might be one of the early things I should set up is a way to ship the components for space rails. Getting those into space would be beneficial. Is there any more rails before I can actually test anything here? Rails are limited by cables. I don't think I would have construction bots up here yet. I should add them to my request. Give me 250. That's probably a few too many. Okay, I should do a bigger chest then. Space rails will take... I mean, it won't need a ton. It's 100-second craft time, so I don't need to have this much input. Nope, I will. I need 34 of each input per second if I want it to craft at max speed, which is not really important, but... Slightly wasting space, but... Space rail. Won't fully occupy this. Why am I low on these? Because I got through all the stuff that I brought. Okay. How long do I have? I have 50 minutes. I might be able to barely get this working in that amount of time. That will be, let's say, iffy at best. this. Let me build here. A little faster, still not done yet. Get that out of my inventory. Get this placed. Steel. Energy catalogs should be supplyable. If I had any, which I really don't. Polarization data. Blank data. Oh, that's an important one that I need to ship up to space. Probably more important than bearings. Data card. The rough data storage substrate. I'll have to set each of these a drop-off name. Holmium solenoid drop-off. Thinking this will probably not function on the interrupts. I think the current issue with my thought is... I mean, other than having just dedicated trains for each item, which is an option, if... Bug me still. It's because it's a train thing? It's a signal baked in, okay. So this interrupt would send it to the specific drop-off, but it would have to send it to that somehow. Oh yes, no, I labeled these based off of... I have to do space elevator, symbol. I can't edit that. So, space elevator, item parameter, drop off, and then the up, if I can add it. Up. I don't think that's the correct arrow. Like this. I added it here, but the station needs the up character. Up. Don't know if easy. Up arrow. Let's see. Up character. Space exploration. I'm looking for if I can change this, or maybe I can just copy it. Discard that. Can I? No. Don't think I can access that internal thing. It's not recommended to manually navigate, blah blah blah. Instruction placement, mark connections. Trains can use the elevator automatically if the internal elevator station is set as the destination. Maybe the suffix isn't needed? I don't know. I'll have to learn, but I have to connect. Copy that. to place this somewhere where it can access. Which is this better suited facing the other way at this end. Can do that. I threw away all those. That is unfortunate. Now I have to go pick up more. These train locomotives. Messy. Messy, messy, messy. There. So I'm gonna do test. Turn this into test. So if I edit the interrupt, change this to make this. I can click this button easily. There are 2 null stations. Only 1 out of 3 stops is accessible. What? Oh, no, this 1 out of 3. 1. This isn't. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. One of them is unknown. Okay. What? If I could read. No stop with that name does exist, clearly. I could add an interrupt, which is space elevator space current item parameter drop off. The issue is the up suffix. Except it didn't add it because it doesn't exist. Oh, but it would exist because if I just did this drop off, that doesn't exist either. But it said I can't add space elevator as part of it. Yeah, that just doesn't work. Which is weird. I could also set priority, enable, disable, set train limit, read train contents. A signal sent with a unique number for that train. The easiest thing is just make a train dedicated for each resource. Work for this up. Okay, that's that. This will be called sulfur. Sulfur drop off. Doesn't work. Oh, I wish it did. What's even more confusing is this one's called Novus. Oh, is it because this one here exists? There's two Novus links there. Stop wasting fuel. It's saying both stops are inaccessible. 1, 2, that makes sense, but it's still reading them despite the fact they're not connected in any way. I guess that's consistent. Okay. It's just a shame that I don't think it can work. That I will have to make just a set pick up and drop off for each train. I think I'm gonna... I need way too much time to think about this. Now that I can actually look at them and interact with this, I need to spend a lot of time thinking about how it even can work. Oh yeah. That's all far more important. I'm thinking I will stop pretty early today, because then I'll have a week to think about how this works, because it's a case of, I don't think this is complicated. I think it might just not be possible to do what I'm hoping to do. But having a week to think about it will help a lot. But it's a bit short today. I will play Timberborn on Thursday, though, which will be a much more relaxing thinking time. Because this space elevator thing is... I'm letting it fry my brain. I just can't figure out what I want to do. Which, it feels like it's because I can't do what I want to do. But I can't accept that I can't do what I want to do, so... I'm thinking it has to be possible, but maybe it just isn't, and that's just making it difficult. So... I'll stop here. Have a nice dinner, helping out, and have a nice... hope everyone has a nice night, day, most of the week, etc. Bye-bye. Yeah. There's thinking in Timberborn, but it'll provide a good break as a middle ground between thinking and not thinking. Yeah. Guess I'll be back Thursday. Unless there's... No, there's nothing else that's, like, interesting, but that would make me stream before then. Bye.